Hey y'all, let's talk about acceleration. So we all know that acceleration is the rate of change of velocity per unit of time. And velocity itself is the direction in which something is traveling at that time. So acceleration is not only moving quickly, but it's also moving in a particular direction, right? Well, my prayer for us in 2022 is that we move quickly, knowing our purpose and our direction. So how do we know that? To find our purpose and direction is to be in constant relationship with Father, because the Bible tells us that He will direct our paths. It also tells us in Isaiah 26:7 that God will lay out a smooth path for us. The Bible also says over in Proverbs 4:18-19 that the wicked is not so. They don't know what makes them stumble. So one of the things about being able to accelerate is know the path that you're taking, to make sure that the path is smooth and it doesn't have any bumps or obstacles that will keep you from moving forward, right? Also, that you don't have any weight. With the vehicle, if you attach an 18-wheeler to the back of that vehicle, it's going to slow that vehicle down where it cannot accelerate at the same rate that it will be able to had that 18-wheeler not been attached. Same thing with us. We have to dump off the weights. What are the weights, Michelle? Weights can be intimidation, timidness, dependency. A weight can also be not enough prayer time, not enough fasting, not enough studying. Those are weights, and that will keep you from accelerating and moving forward, right? When I thought about acceleration, I don't know why, but I thought about the story of Mephibosheth. Mephibosheth was the son of Jonathan, and he became crippled at 5 years old because his nurse picked him up and she tried to run with him. She heard the news about Saul and Jonathan, and so she picked him up in urgency and she tried to run with him. Well, she ended up dropping him. Why? One, probably because he was too much weight for her to carry. He was too big. He was 5 years old. A 5-year-old is much bigger than, an infant. And then the second thing I thought about was that, why did he become crippled? Why couldn't his bones be set back in place? He became crippled. So not only did they break, but it crippled him. This often happens to us oftentimes when we allow ourselves to be carried, or we become codependent, or even when we're the one carrying someone else. When we try and carry too much, it becomes too much for us and we end up dropping it and falling ourselves. She fell, right? And so that'll happen oftentimes. Also with him, when he was dropped, sometimes when we're dropped and we become crippled because we haven't built up enough muscle, and our bones have not become strong enough. And so when we're dropped, we become crippled. Here's the light at the end of the tunnel. Even though Mephibosheth was dropped and he was crippled, it didn't stop him from moving forward. And he was still able to move forward. He was still able to posture himself properly before David the king, because the Bible tells me that when David summoned for him, when he went to David, he bowed before him. So he was still able to bow and put himself in the proper posture, right? To present himself before the king. So are we in proper posture is my next question, right? The second thing is that the Bible tells me that Mephibosheth went on to have a son by the name of Micah. So he was still able to produce. So here's the light. Even if we have allowed ourselves to be carried, even if we've been dropped, or even if we're the one that tripped and fell, there is still hope there. Get up and keep moving, clear the path, Place yourself in the proper posture. How do you do that? Make certain that you are carving that special time out with God. Make certain that we are studying our word, as the Bible says, to show ourselves approved. Make certain that you live a life of fasting. In order to be able to accelerate in this time, you will have to live a life of fasting. Make certain that we become a house of prayer. Make certain that we have intimacy and that we are growing in the grace and the knowledge of Father, right? And those are the way that we accelerate, removing the weight of dependency, the weight of timidness, right? The weight of laziness, the weight of slothfulness. All of those things are weights. And so we have to throw those things off. We have to press towards the mark and do the work. The only way for acceleration, I'm not going to get here and give you 3 turnaround points. The only way to accelerate is to get there and to do the work. So those are the PowerPoints for today. Be blessed.